You see these guys behind me? They're on a mission to replace themselves. This week on assignment, I'm in the Pacific Northwest to witness the great salmon run. Well, you might be wondering, what do salmon have to do with leadership? Well, these fish have spent the last number of years swimming around the ocean, doing their thing, but now, over the last few weeks, they have been fighting their way up the stream, dodging predators, dodging fishermen, to this tiny stream where it all began for them for one specific purpose, and that's to reproduce themselves. In today's world, great management is essential, but in this terrain, it's easy to get lost. Hi, I'm James Robbins, and I'm here to help you lead your people to the top. And this is Help Me Lead, the web show for managers. Hey, welcome to the show. Now listen, before we get to the fish, I want to remind you about the Send to a Friend contest. It's so easy. All you have to do is click on the link, send to a friend, and you're entered into the draw. And if you send to a lot of friends, you can win some really cool prizes. Check it out. Well, when it comes to replacing yourself, there's three things you got to think of. Three steps, really. Step number one is you have to identify who might be some possible candidates. Now, some managers will say, well, I have nobody. Well, you better find somebody. Take your best person that you think can do it. But anyways, you want to find somebody. Better yet, you want to find a couple of people. Secondly, you want to begin to identify the attributes that each one of them is going to need to grow in order to fulfill this role. And when I say attributes, I'm talking more that character stuff. Maybe it's humility. Maybe it's their ability to inspire people. Maybe it's their ability to keep calm when the whole place is falling apart. Those kind of things. So for each one of those candidates, you want to identify the different attributes they're going to need to pick up. That's a coaching thing. So step three is to identify the different hats that you wear in any given week. And let's be honest, there are a lot of them. You have to be a meeting leader. You have to be a reward and recognizer. You have to be a cheerleader at times. You have to be a fight breaker-upper. You have to be a referee sometimes. You have to be a discipliner. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. So you want to identify those different hats that you wear, and then you want to start handing them out. You have to start delegating your job. And delegating your job is actually easier than it sounds once you've identified those different hats that each one has to wear. And so you start giving them a chance to lead the meeting, them a chance to start rewarding and recognizing, them a chance to start breaking up some of the fights. I mean, wouldn't that be nice? And so you get them to start wearing some of your hats, you give them some feedback, but this is the kind of training that we have to do in order to replace ourselves. Now think about the fish in this river. They have fought their way to get up here, and all the while there's fishermen dangling lures in front of their face, trying to get them off task, trying to distract them from what's really important. Some fish are going to end up on somebody's dinner table tonight. Not the way you want to end. But then there's other fish who've decided not to be distracted, to realize their higher calling, their higher purpose, and that's to replace themselves. And that's true for us as leaders. We have to replace ourselves. And so we can't get distracted by the busyness of life. I mean, hey, we're all busy. Yes, it takes more work to replace ourselves, but when we stick to it, when we focus on identifying those that could replace us, when we focus on helping coach them in the attributes they're going to need and letting them wear the hats that we wear, that's when we're going to see people raise up, people become great leaders, and we'll have been part of that. And guaranteed, you probably won't die in the process, like all of these guys. Hey, no one said reproducing yourself was easy. I mean, look at this guy. He's tired. You got to be tired when you're floating upside down. Hey, here's a quick tip to make your people feel special. And as a manager, you want to know the corporate birthdays of every one of your direct reports. And when I say corporate birthdays, basically the date that they started with your organization. Of course, we all, recognize people's actual birthdays in some ways around the office, but a way to stand out as a manager is when you can know their corporate birthday and go up to them and, hey, Sally, you've been with us 2 years, today, and gives you a chance to share what you've learned from Sally, what you appreciate about Sally, lift her up to the team, whatever it might be. Anyways, know your corporate birthdays and it'll go a long ways.